Your team is in the mid of 7th iteration and you observe a recurring trend of a particular type of defects. Okay, these defects are creating rework in the current iteration. What would you advise your team? Let's look at the option. The good thing about PMP exam is we need to pick up from the available 4 options or 5 options rather than give an absolute solution for any question, because giving an absolute solution could be a difficult thing. So we have a 7th iteration, we observe some recurring trend, and it is also creating defect in our current iteration. Option A, do a root cause analysis on these defects. Okay. Option B, start discussing defects in daily stand-up. Okay. Reserve some time in retrospective for doing root cause analysis. Option C, retrospective should discuss it. Option D, reserve some capacity for rework in the next iteration. Pick your choice, and I share my idea. Okay, so what I see here is we have a defects. We need to do something about it. And this is a recurring trend and it is creating rework. So we need to get rid of this trend so we have a productivity or a better value of our time, we produce more. That seems to be the clear thing. Now, rather than start discussing them and start planning for those defects, it would be good that we can avoid the creation of the defect. So option B talks about, let's talk about the defect and do something about them probably in the each daily stand-up. Yeah, okay, but what are you going to do by talking about it? Possibly you will do something and you add an agenda of discussing defects in a daily stand-up. That can derail the whole process as well, because this is not necessarily to be an item which probably required a daily stand-up discussion, because there could be many defects which might be coming in. Yeah. The option D, reserving some capacity for rework in the next iteration or current iteration, is also seems to be that accepting that these defects will come and we should have some capacity built for it. Yeah. So D is talking about not solving the problem rather than letting it reoccur, but go a little plan so that it is observed in our planning. That's the option D. And option B is saying that, okay, let's track them well, which might be okay, might not be okay, depending upon what other options we have. Yeah. So we flag B and D and look at A and C. Now, the interesting thing about A and C is both of them are talking about doing root cause analysis. Yeah, the only difference between these two is the C is saying, let's do a root cause analysis during retrospective meeting. Let's continue the way we are going in the current iteration, record all these issues, and we will do an analysis in the retrospective meeting. That seems to be a good choice, probably. The option A is saying, since we have a lot of rework happening in the current iteration itself, why to wait for retrospective? Why can't we do a root cause analysis now itself and get rid of it so that we can deliver our iteration in a better way? Because you are in a mid, you're in a mid of the iteration. The 50% iteration is still pending. So what I go here is I go with option A. Yeah. The reason is, first, the question is clearly showing that you are in a mid of 7th iteration, which means you have a space. Delaying something for that long, which has a current impact, may not be a good idea. Yeah. So you should not be waiting for that long. You can wait if the impact is not on current iteration. You can say, we have a trend, we want to do something better, but let's finish the current iteration. Then probably it is okay. The hint this question is giving is the rework is getting generated in the current iteration. It is a trend, but it is also a trend in our current iteration. So my advice to the team would be, maybe at the end of a daily stand-up or during the daily stand-up when this issue get raised, rather than making discussion about the defects every day, I would say, okay, why don't we allocate some time after the daily stand-up and do a root cause analysis on it and find out what should we do differently in the current iteration itself so that we don't have that much rework. So I would recommend or advise my team, out of all 4 options available, this seems to be better one to me, because I can say this is going to save my current iteration and we can have further analysis of it like how it could be avoided and other thing in our retrospective meeting also. So we can discuss it later. But as of now, we need to focus on doing something about it. And I will pick up the option A here.